Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I've not long got back from what was a long day following a long day. So we are cream crackers and we're going to sit down and relax for the rest of the day when I've done this bit. Get this bit out of the way, otherwise it'll have to wait till tomorrow. Because once I sit down I'm probably going to go to sleep. Yesterday was Orchid Society meeting, preceded by a committee meeting, and it's an hour's drive each way for me, so that was a long day. It's all the setting up to do and the setting down at the end. The people just turn up, fold their arms, listen, do, blah, 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 and go. Some help out, I must admit. So that was a long day, and I had a disturbed night. One of my cats has got an upset tum, so I was up a couple of times cleaning up the mess. It happens, pets can get just as ill as people can. It's bright as rain today. It seems it. And today would have been a long day had I not cut it shorter than perhaps I needed to. But it was an early start. I got caught. The last big show I went to, I got there an hour and a half early to allow time to have some breakfast and relax. And there was nowhere to park. The car parking area for the centre was full, an hour and a half early. And I had to drive up this forest track and walk back about a mile. So this time I thought, right, we're not going to get caught out again. So I left early, and blow me, there's thick fog on the motorway. So down to a snail's pace, sensibly, you don't go mad in fog. So it took longer to get there than I thought. I was going to stop on the way to have breakfast, and I thought, no, I'm a bit short of time now, so we'll just get there and just hope I can get some food when I get there. I drove into the car park, it was almost empty. Well, the car park near to the main entrance was quite full, but that was probably a lot of the traders and the people to do with the Orchid Societies that actually put on the show. So they'd have been unloading their cars and stuff, so they'd have got there a bit early. Anyway, I had something to eat, and had about 15 minutes to spare, so I thought I'll wander round and see if I know anybody, coming in and out the doors, and they were letting people in then, so I got in a little bit early. I have a multitude of clips from the show, which is the trees. Now the last show was an open show, so anybody could put a tree in for judging. This was Orchid Society displays. So each society put on their own display of their members' trees. So an amateur show, basically. And there were some splendid trees there. So I've got a multitude of clips. They're not all going to get published on the grounds that I have to take the soundtrack off because the microphones are quite powerful on the camera. It picks up bits of people's private conversation. It's not fair to put that on social media. So I'll have to take the soundtrack off and put some music on instead. And for the real enthusiasts, the trees are the important bit and the way some of them have been displayed. But for others that are a bit interested, it's like, oh, there's a bonsai tree. Oh, look, there's another one. Well, blow me, there's another one. There's another and after a very short period of time it gets tedious no matter how good the trees are. So I won't publish all the clips. I will pick on the ones that came out best, that were in focus, that have got the best trees in, and I'll string those together. But I nearly walked out of the show empty-handed, and then I thought, nah, there's always room for one more tree, isn't there? It's that expression, it doesn't matter how many times you say I'm not getting any more trees, there's always room for one more, isn't there? I've spent too much money on a single tree and I thought blow it. So I've done it now, it's too late, I can't take it back. I suppose you want to see what I got. We will have an unbagging ceremony. It's not an unboxing ceremony, it's an unbagging ceremony. And I can't even play Can You Tell What It Is yet, because it's obvious what it is. But there's more to it than meets the eye. Now this came from Greenwood. So I had a chat with Corinne about the batch that he had there. These are grown in Spain, and they spend quite a large part of their life in the ground. they're styled and then grown on in the ground and then put in the pots. All the paperwork's done, and they come over to us, or in this case to Greenwood Bonsai. So these are not young trees. Now this is a bit like I film orchids. I keep the camera still and I walk up and show the plant. So I'm going to see if it works with the tree. As you can see, this is, you know, there's some pretty mature trunk going on inside here. It's already got lovely movement. It's got a multitude of choices for branches, and while I was chatting to Corinne, he said a lot of these have been pruned back, you know, to get growth into the side shoots and everything, but he said some of them I left the long growths on, and he said there's a sensible reason for that, because come next year you can air layer that, you can air layer that, you can air layer that, and you can air layer that, and you've got 4 more trees on top of your base tree. And I thought, I'll have a go at that. I haven't done an air layer. Well, I've had a go at one and it failed. So there are a multitude of long shoots. They're long and they're straight, but they become whips. And my idea for at least one of them is to try and find some driftwood, deadwood, and actually get one of those junipers that grows around the deadwood and the branches shoot out as though the deadwood is the tree, if you see what I mean. I thought I'd have a go at that. It's got a proper name, but I've forgotten it. And you know, that will leave me with my base tree, with branches, multitude of selection there, gins, everything going for it, quite honestly. And there's a fair bit of the tree down in the media, and as soon as you take the top of the media off, you've got roots radiating out. So I think this, when this comes out of its pot and goes in a bonsai pot, it's going to have quite a good base. And it's got the sort of trunk that you could clean up with a wire brush and get that red colour back. So that's what I got, as I spent far too much money on it. But if I ever get round to doing the 7 questions that are going around, even though I wasn't formally asked, if I do that, I've already got my most expensive bonsai tree now, it's this one. Have I ever spent more than that? No, I got close once, but I haven't got that tree. I spent a fair bit on a Japanese white pine a long time ago, and it didn't even get through the winter. I owned it for about 6-7 months and it died, and I swore I'd never put that sort of money into a tree again, and there he goes, buying one for even more. But as I said, you know, these have got a good start to a mature trunk on here. They've got movement, there's quite a bit going for that, and with these extensions we can have a go at some air layers and either start new trees with my own design or have a go at wrapping one around some driftwood, deadwood, whatever you want to call it. So that's what I got, and had a pleasant day chatting to traders. Met a few people I knew, not many, and apparently there is a bonsai auction coming up, which sounds like it might be fun. But the guy I was talking to that was telling me about it couldn't really remember where it was. He was going through a list of places where it could be, and they were miles apart. Well, let's find out where it really is and see if it's a viable option. Sometime in October, I think that is. Otherwise, that's it with the shows for this year. Bonsai shows, anyway. Got plenty of orchid shows coming up. But yeah, it was a good show, nice atmosphere, and the little cafe that they had coped admirably because people didn't swamp it, you know, and they were getting people through at a reasonable rate. There's somewhere to sit and have your food and everything. And the bonsai hall, the hall where their show was, they had their own hospitality area up on a raised area where you could get, you couldn't take food up there. They weren't allowed food in that area. It was just teas and coffees. You could take your own drinks up there, but no food. So, and they were charging next to nothing for a tea and a coffee, so it was a nice place to go and sit. And the clips that I put together of the show will start, luckily. I kept looking at these windows up there thinking, if I could get up there, I could do a panoramic view of the whole show, the whole hall. And blow me, that was the hospitality area. So once I got up there, I politely asked the gentleman if he'd move back so that I could borrow his window and film the whole thing. So that will be the opening clip for the show clips. And yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. I'm pleased with that tree. It's going to get nothing done with it. None of that's going to get trimmed back. None of it's going to get touched. All that's going to happen to that is going to go out in the garden with the other trees. It's staying in that pot, staying exactly as it is until we get to next year, to a suitable time, one, to repot and get it in a bonsai pot, and get those roots out nice and flat, and start them, you know, flaying out, forming a nice nabari. And in addition to that, not necessarily at the same time, the best time will be looked up, sought after for air layering a juniper, and then we'll have a go at some air layers. And we'll go from there and see how we go. So this is the basis of a fair bit of work, I think, and it's going to be enjoyable work because I haven't had a mature juniper before to work on. All I've got is the sticks in pots, you know, which is all I've got now. So, see you next time. Thanks for dropping by. If you're not subscribed, it would be nice if you did so. Those observant people will notice there's a click on subscribe button near the front of my videos now. It took me a while to remember how to do that, but it's done. So, you know, there's no words to go with it. I don't plug it all the time. But if you're not subscribed, it would be nice if you did so. Let's get those numbers up and get me past that set of goalposts that YouTube set for me. And we'll go from there, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.